Magandang hapon, Tess.
Magandang hapon, Pao. Kumusta?
Mabuti naman. And this is episode 11, our last one for 2024.
That's right. How exciting. Any plans before end of the
Well,
year?
I'm away. I'm away as of next week.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll meet again in terms of our podcast come the new year. So I might be doing that one remotely outside of,
Nice.
of-
Lucky you. You're going to be going to warm place while I'm stuck here in cold weather. Thank you very much.
I'll send you pics. Okay.
Oh, great. Thanks for rubbing it in. Okay, sounds good.
So some big news that came up this week.
Great news.
Great news for
Yeah,
sure. I think from our last episode we were discussing the possibility of the 50.5 basis
percent.
point
Yeah,
percent rate cut as opposed to
20.
25, right? So like what we're talking about for anybody that hasn't heard it is like there was a zero point 0.5 reduction on the overnight rate. And a lot of people were talking about it could have been like a 0.25 rate reduction, but now it's back to back 0.5 rate reduction got done by the Bank of Canada.
That's right. Amazing.
Okay.
Yay for, variable rate holder. I'm happy.
So now that's a total of 1.25% in the
Right.
span of 5-6 months, I think.
That's right. Last 6 months, I think. And there's like 5 reductions so far. I
And
mean, reductions period for the year.
for the year to date, yeah. And then I believe it's January and March. There's going to be another reduction,
January 29, I think.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And so
Next
again,
one.
as per every episode, and we talk about rate reduction, because yesterday, or was that yesterday? No, sorry, that was the other day that happened. The messages I got from clients, existing clients that I have a rate locked in, like fixed rates locked in. Again, just to clarify, that rate, the Bank of Canada rate announcement directly affects variable rate holders and line of credit holders, right? If you're a fixed rate holder or if you have a fixed rate locked in, that doesn't affect you directly. What you have to be watching for if you want to be watching your fixed rates is the bond market, because the bond yield is what affects fixed rate. And also for the variable rate holders, because I think a lot of people see that, 3.25, that's what rate I should be getting. The 3.25 is what the Bank of Canada lends to other lenders, and from there, the Bank of Canada, adjusts their prime rate. So the prime rate is still at 5.45% as of today after that reduction. And then you get a discount on that based on the prime, right? If you're a variable, if it's insured or uninsured mortgages, you're getting either 0.5 to 1% off that typically on average. Okay. So yeah, just quick clarification because the amount of messages I got after that rate reduction.
I know
Just
they're
wanted
so
to put
confused
it out
about
there.
that. No, you're not getting 3.25.
The banks are. So yeah, so that settles like the update with interest rates, and why that interest rate drop consecutively now. I think a part of it is the unemployment rate
Went up.
going slightly up. I believe overall, like I think this is a Canada statistics, 6.5 to 8.5 month over month. So it has increased. So it is creeping up. And actually, it is worse in Toronto. Toronto, you're looking at 8.1%. And to put that into perspective, a healthy unemployment will be around 4 to 6%.
Whoa.
So right now, we're definitely high. A lot of people are, there's layoffs happening. It's hard to get a job. So the government is trying to counter that by making things quote unquote more affordable, I guess, if
To
if
stimulate
rates
the
are
market. Yeah.
trending down.
That's
And
stuff.
and inflation. So I think our inflation is still in check, but it did go up in October from 1.6 in September to 2%. I think we did discuss that last time.
Yes, we did.
That it is going up slightly. It's not a cause for concern at the moment, but that's something that Bank of Canada is watching out for, because after all of the decreases they've done, they don't want to kind of be counterproductive. And then for that, if that goes out of hand, then we have a big problem, right?
Yeah.
Another
We shall
factor that
see.
I wanted to throw out there, I don't want to get too technical. When I was planning out our podcast, I was like, no, I don't want to dive too deep into all of this. But then I was kind of like unemployment, inflation, GDP.
They're all connected.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
connected, and that's
So
what makes it right. Like, so I don't know if people care much about the details, but GDP is a slightly lower as well. Technically, we're not in a recession because what defines a recession is a contraction in our economy. So back to back GDP being negative. We're still positive per se, just because the way they calculate GDP is as a whole, not per capita. But if you look at the per capita, so the overall GDP, the gross domestic product divided by number of people, that actually is negative. But they don't calculate as such. So, but yeah, so technically we're not in a recession yet. Hopefully we don't get there.
yeah, I hope not.
But yeah, so all of those factors is what I believe is what's causing the Bank of Canada to keep decreasing rates, because our economy is not looking as great. So they're trying to counter that by lowering rates.
That's right.
So Tess, with all that said, how has that affected the real estate market? It's like from your side of things.
Well, there's great news. Anyways, last November, November market update. Just read what I have here. So the sales went up 40% year over year. However, if you compare the month before that, in October, it's actually down. So we're slowing down. Obviously, we know that when we are approaching the end of the year, it's always slowing down, right? And then it's going to creep back up by springtime. But I think it will be busier before springtime. Um, New listings as well went up. It's up by, I can't find my number right here. New listings went up by 6.8%. But again, that's low compared to the month before. As you can see, buyers are already re entering the market because we have a lot of great news. Obviously, all the buyers really think about our rate reductions, But
I think at the end of it, it's all about, the crazy part is it's all about perception, right?
it is.
The
I was going to
the
say that.
Yeah, so consumer sentiment is based on, it's like how they feel, right, and what they're hearing on the news. Even though like some people don't even understand, like that's why talking about the rates, because a lot of people hear, oh, the rates are going down, rates going down,
Yeah,
but
it's just one of the factors.
but the fixed rates have been somewhat down.
Low,
Like it
yeah.
hasn't adjusted in the last 2-3 months. So it's what is perceived in the news is what's causing
Yeah.
this people to jump back in the market, right?
Yeah. The bottom line is it's best to really speak to if you're thinking of buying, speak to your mortgage broker, your lenders. You need to know, you need to get your income looked at. You need to get pre-approval, right? Pre-qualifications in order to know if you really are ready to enter the market. If
Yes.
you are, then you should jump in. And so new listings are up, like I said, 6.6 year over year, but that was down compared to the month before in October. And average selling price is up 2.6 year over year compared to last year, obviously. And again, it's down compared to last month. And so what I'm saying is we're slowing down as we approach the end of the year. Now, let me tell you what the major home types are performing right now. So last month for detached, it actually went up 44% in sales. That's pretty good, huh? For semi-detached, 25%. That's actually low compared last month. I'm just comparing it this month compared last year and last month. A townhouse went up by 46% compared last month. Again, it's down. Condo also went up year over year, 36.3. And compared last month, it went up for condos. However, for the average price of condo, it went down. Everything else went up. Like the detached went up by 3.9, semi-detached went up 1.7, townhouse went up 0.8. So I guess everything else is good. The prices are going up slightly. Now, for the average days or property days on market, and property days on market really refers to real listings, termination, suspension. So basically, the total number of days on market before the property was sold. So the all GTA, like GTA areas, the property days on market, it actually takes 49 days to sell. Now, there are areas here, and that's in Durham region, that actually only took, for example, Ajax, 41 days on market to sell. Oshawa, only 44 days. Pickering, 39 days only to sell. Whitby, 38 days. Now, you want me to compare that to, let's see here, Caledon, 57 days. Toronto Central, 53 days, so it takes longer to sell. Aurora, a lot of the one in York region took a long time to sell. Aurora, Georgina, Georgina, only 44 days. Out of the one in York, Georgina
I wonder it's connected to
went really well.
on the actual price of the homes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
so
is.
the
Yeah.
higher priced homes are not selling as quickly
Yes,
as,
that's
you
part
know,
of it. And some of them are overpriced,
yes, for sure.
right? Yeah. And that's gonna create stigma if it's, if once you change it and it's been there for like over 30 days, buyers has gone like they already move on to the next property. So that's why it's very important to price your property right the first time. First 2 weeks is very, very important. Stouffville, 77 days on market. That's long. And Simcoe County, 64 days. Innisfil, that's really, really far now, but it takes 75 days there. But all in all, average property days on market is 49 days. That's very normal. For the last, I think, the last 2 years, it's been slow. Now, if you're interested in knowing what the range for condo apartment sold prices are, it's between 500 to 600,000 for condos. And then for condo townhouse, it's between 600 to 800,000. Yeah, that's for condo townhouse. For freehold townhouses, people are spending 800 to 1 million. Semi-detached is 900 to 1.3. And then for detached, people are like the properties that were sold were between 900 to 1.5 million. And that's all over Toronto. All over GTA. That's in general. So it's all over the place. And I thought I shared this one with you guys. I just happened to look at the one in central Toronto because I'm trying to tell you guys that there are so many deals out there for our buyers. So make sure that when you see a property, make sure you negotiate down if you can, because there's so many. There are so many, like the inventory is very high. I'll give you an example, and I know I picked.
And sorry, was this, you were talking about the condo market that there's inventory that's high, or are we talking about generally,
In
like even
general,
in
there's a
general?
high
Okay.
inventory in
Even
general.
detaches at the moment?
Yes,
Yeah,
detached,
okay.
semi-detached, everywhere, like across the board. But the example that I'm going to be giving, I just happened to pick up this one here, the one in central Toronto, where like the richest neighborhood, which is Bridle Path, where Drake lives. So there, you can save as much as like the homes that were sold there were between 600 to 800,000 below market, below listing price. So that's just one of the examples, and some even over 1 million, right? Because those people, they've been there for a long time, and people, I guess, are very desperate to sell them, and so they sold it at a very low price. I mean,
So
discounted price.
if Drake's listening, it's time to upsize, right? So call Tess Cameron.
Or yes, please call me. Give me a chance. But who can afford his property? 150 million, I think. That's how much his market value, the market value of his
Wow.
property. But to just put it into perspective, there are also so many condos, especially for those first-time home buyers, new immigrants, who has like minimum down payment. There are a lot of condos right now. So many condos are not selling. So check that out first. I know you have to pay maintenance fee, but guess what? You have to pay those maintenance fee. Most of them are even like included in the main, like the what do you call this? The utilities are included in the maintenance fee. So just think of it as a utilities that you're paying. Okay, so as long as it's not too high, like 600 right now below, because I know it affects their pre-approval.
Yeah.
Then you're good to go. Just think of it as like, oh, that's part of the amenities, part of the utilities and stuff. Just don't overthink it. Let the mortgage broker talk to you
Yes.
about and explain to you.
Especially when the condo fees are including almost
Yeah.
all of the utilities, right? So you kind of have to factor that in.
Yes.
Because
Kasi,
realistically, for instance, for me, I probably pay $300-400 and other utilities, right? Between
yes.
your hydro, your water, your gas, right? So with the condo fees,
kasama
Most,
na.
or yeah, kasama.
Yeah, so those are the things that you have to think about kasi marami naman talagang factors why, you're paying for maintenance fee. At saka yung iba, they don't wanna shovel, they don't wanna do this, do that, like for gardening, and that's part of the services that you get with your maintenance fee. May pool, may sauna, may hot tub, may gym. Yung mga ibang perks nandun. So, depende kasi sa mga tao.
Mhm.
So, once again, if you can afford it, or if you're not sure, speak to your mortgage broker. And definitely, when you hire a realtor, make sure that person knows the area and make sure you negotiate down. There's a lot of deals out there. That's all I can say because I just did that to my clients and they're very happy.
That's great.
Both
So yeah,
sides.
so overall, I think from your market update that it is getting busier,
Yes.
but there's still deals out there. So
Yeah.
make sure that, because there's still inventory in the market. I think season wise as well, it's probably going to stick, historically it is slower in Christmas just because one, people are busy. Two, winter, people don't really want to be going out to be looking for homes. That's why spring is usually when it gets a lot busier, right? So
That's right.
definitely take advantage of that with, coupled with the season, lower interest rates. There's definitely a lot of opportunities out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you have the time to wait for the sellers I'm talking about, then, if you're just selling, then yeah, wait until springtime because it's going to get better, right? You're going to get more money
Yeah, no, I agree.
for
Actually,
your
that's a
if
good tip
yeah,
for sellers. It is going to just get busier. So if you are not, if you
in a
have the
hurry.
time to wait, yeah,
Exactly.
you probably get the best value for your property.
Yeah. However, if you are thinking of buying as well, remember it's in the same market. So if
Mhm.
you are, even though you're selling and you get more for your property, remember you are also buying and you're gonna be paying more. Would you
More,
rather
it's
save
true.
money and would you rather sell now and just get what you're supposed to get, like the market value for your property, and then get more deals if you buy now? So think
Well,
about that. So you have to weigh your options.
the one thing that people don't really factor in, which I always tell people, it's like the right time is when you're ready, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
or when you're ready and you qualify, because other people, we don't know what government rule changes are in terms of mortgages. Like there's so many that's happened in the last 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually one thing I wanted to touch on. There's also the loan to income changes that they are, I think they're going to implement it. They started talking about it early last year, but I haven't heard much detail about how that's going to be implemented. So basically, from your income, you can only mortgage 4.5 times your income or the household income, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
going to limit some buyers. I don't know how each lender is going to implement that because it's, from my understanding, it's not going to be per individual, but it's on their overall portfolio, their uninsured portfolio. So they're going to be restricted to have a certain ratio for
Mm-hmm.
loan to the income of the borrower. So there's going to be changes out there. You can't control that. You can only control what you can control on your end. So if you qualify and you want to buy a house, that would be the great time to buy is when all of everything's aligned on your end.
Yeah, another thing I wanted to point out is that if you were pre-approved for example, 1 million, don't you think you would spend 1 million or less? Well, a lot of people do spend more than 1 million, even if they can't afford it. And then, boom, those are the people right now you're seeing that's selling, right? Because they didn't really manage their money well. And some of them were pre-approved legally, right? And it's
Mhm.
happening. And well, we only found out about now when the rate went up. Anyways, my point is try to, work below your means. If you're pre-approved for 1 million, try to go 900 or even lesser if you can.
Mhm.
Everybody loves big houses and stuff, but make sure you can afford it. Don't be house poor.
Well,
Remember, you still have to travel, take care of your kids' expenses
mhm.
or yourselves, right? Stuff
And
like that.
as you mentioned, it's probably the best market to negotiate right now, right? Because there's
Mm-hmm.
inventory in the market. So they can get a deal on that 1 million to possibly make it
Yes.
lower, right?
Yes.
And then keep money, like whatever money that you had ready for down payment and closing costs, keep it in the bank, right?
That's right.
So Tess,
Yeah.
with all of these updates about how the market is currently and in the last couple of months, what is our anticipation, do you think, or what's your perspective about how the market's going to be in 2025?
I think it's going to be extremely busy. I'm seeing a lot of traffic right now, even though there's a lot of deals at the moment. I always tell my client, the buyers right now, if you can buy before end of the year, even before I would say January, February, before it gets really busy, try to secure your place and then just have 30, 60 up to 90 days, of course, closing, because that's where the deals are. It's really expected to go super busy in springtime because there's more rate reductions to come. That's what the expectations anyways. and i
Yes.
and I can see it as a realtor. I can see it. I'm seeing a lot of offer presentation, even though half of them basically were not successful and they had to do a price reduction. But I'm still seeing it, like I'm still seeing a lot, and I'm seeing more people are going out, even going for open houses. But I'm not seeing a lot of people participating. I'm one of those into like bidding wars. Yeah, we just go and look for the place that we want, like for my clients, because there's so many to choose from. There's so many. So just be open minded, like for clients anyways. For buyers, just be open minded. Take your time. Not Don't take your time too much because it goes fast. It goes really fast. Again, that happened to us as well. Like, we've just been looking, but know what you wanted. As soon as you see it, lock it in and make
Mhm.
an offer. Right? If it doesn't get accepted, then move on to another place. There's so many right now to choose from. So yeah, it's gonna get busy. It's gonna be interesting.
So I definitely think that the market is going to get busy as well come the springtime. Just a couple of things like you touched on. So rates are going to continue to decrease. I think the expectation is that overnight rate that's at 3.25.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of experts are saying we're going to see possibly up
2.5.
to 2.5.
Yeah.
So rates are going to start keep going down. Now, as of December 15th, so it's a couple of days, the 30-year amortization is going to be introduced for first-time home buyers. Actually, for new builds, it's everyone is can participate into that. And then the $1.5 million cap for insured mortgages. So if you
Mm-hmm.
have less than 20% down payment, you can actually do a 5 or 10% down payment uh, instead of the 20% that's required as of today.
Wow,
So
that's good.
so you definitely have access to more products out there that the government has introduced to kind of stimulate the market going to 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is leading towards a busier market. So I
Yeah.
think the big question there is, what is your take on, do you think that there's a rush that house prices is going to skyrocket again as it did in, early 2022,
No,
2021?
not right away. It's going to be a slow pace. No, because like you said, like mentioned earlier, there's a lot of people that lost their jobs, right? So a lot of people are still conservative. They're out there, they're looking, but they keep looking, right? They're looking for deals. I don't think the price is gonna go up, even though that's what sellers really want, because a lot of sellers they still have that mindset of COVID prices. No, I'm seeing a lot of like terminated listings. That's because they were priced too high. And if it has been in the market for more than 2 weeks, we all know, like, who's in the industry, it's gonna create a stigma, and it's gonna be there for a while. So it has to be priced right. Because there's the buyers, they're not really willing to pay for that. They're gonna keep moving on and look for the one that's right for them. Well, I hope that's what they're doing.
So I agree as well. I know it's going to be a busier market, but I don't think it's going to drive house prices through the roof like it did a
Not right
couple years
away.
ago.
Yeah. No.
Because you keep in mind, yeah, like the reason why all of this, the rates are going down and everything is because the economy is not doing
Yeah.
that well. And also, just to throw in that in 2025 and 2026, like I think 60% of the mortgages the Canadian, like the people that own houses, their mortgages are coming up due, 60% of that in the 2025, 2026. And some of these people are going to feel still an increase. I know rates are going down, but like most of these people are locked in around 2%, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now they're going to be getting a renewal at 4%. It's still going to bump up their payments. Luckily, the stress test that was implemented before all this happened is going to help people that they should be able to afford it based on because they were stress test to that rate of
Yeah.
that increase in the difference in the 2%. So, but some people are going to feel that, and there might be more houses coming up in the market because of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the lack of supply can be countered a bit by some people not being able to afford and having to sell.
Mm-hmm. That's right. leases too. The rentals are not moving as much. I don't know why, because we need, I mean, there's the inventory for leases are high.
Well, I'm assuming too the rental market is going to be affected by the cutting the immigration numbers,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So because
that's right,
now
that's
there's
right.
not.
And there's a lot of fraud, by the way. There's a lot of fraud, and that's why so many landlords are taking their sweet time to go through the process and wait for the right tenants, because a lot of those tenants, I shouldn't say, and the realtors are not doing their due diligence, because there's like some of them are just looks very,
Sketchy.
very sketchy. I'm not gonna
What's the
point fi- I'm,
what's the
I'm, g-
political term
I'm
for
gonna I'm not gonna point fingers, and I don't like to. Yeah, but honestly, realtors have to be more careful about this, because a lot of tenants are making up a lot of employment letters.
that happens
Even
even in the
the credit
mortgage industry,
reports,
right?
even
Yeah.
credit reports. Yeah, but I know how to look at them. Like, I know when they are. We have our ways of finding out, right? So remember, I came from the mortgage side, and I used to do AML, anti money laundering, but still there are like companies there to actually who does the checking and everything, and even do like the IDs where they have to, when you send it, I forgot which company was it. I'll mention it next time. What they do is that they once you send them the ID, the driver's license, the robot actually, I think, or AI would actually
AI.
check if that person has any, like, has done something bad. I don't know, has bad rap or something like that, bad record, and it'll tell you no, it's a no, and decline it. Because you have to be careful. It's hard to get the tenants out once they're in, so it's really
Well, yeah,
important.
so that's the one thing that landlords have to be careful about. And even myself, as a landlord in the past, for
Mm,
most part, I definitely I use all my underwriting skills to
yeah,
be able, it's like I'm approving them for a mortgage because I know once they're in there, the Landlord and Tenant Act does not favor the landlord in Ontario, at least, right?
yeah,
So you definitely
yeah,
have to be careful.
it should be balanced. But however, although there's talks that they are actually trying to reform, the landlord and tenant board to have more enhanced efficiency and fairness, potentially improving housing access for individual and families. But I don't really believe that until I see it, right? So
Our government doesn't really move fast on
yeah,
things.
yeah, we have to change the government. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, that I like to my last point there.
We're getting political now. We're not
Yeah,
supposed to.
like I said, I don't like getting political, and I didn't want to on this podcast, but just to for everybody, like I know that the government is practically giving away money this Christmas, and I think there was that no tax for a couple of weeks or something as well that they're
Does that
implementing.
really help?
Yeah, the $200 checks for Ontarians and 250, I believe, the federal government is giving away. Keep in mind, it's your own money. It's your own
Giving away or
money.
buying us a vote?
Can we say that? Well, just keep in mind it's election year next year, and there's no reason they should be just handing out money because it's your tax dollars.
That.
That money came from your own money that you're paying, and guess what? How to cover that is going to be potentially more taxes in the future,
Mm-hmm.
which we already tax enough as Canadians.
Yeah, you gotta give your voice next year for the election. Remember, if you don't vote, you can't complain, right?
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, you have to like just shut it.
Well,
Anything
I
else?
think no, I think that does it up for today's episode. It was quick. Just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to
That's
everybody because this is our last episode for the year.
maligayang Pasko, advance maligayang Pasko sa inyong lahat. I don't know how to say advance in Tagalog. Do you
Yeah, no,
know?
I'm not too
Okay,
sure.
forget it. We failed again. Hey, we
Well,
tried.
maligayang Pasko sa lahat.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Cheers. Oh yeah. Thanks to this one, pal. Thank you. I can see yours though. Mine is better.
Yeah,
Thanks for your gift. I love it.
you're welcome. Okay. And take
Okay.
care, everybody. Happy
Bye.
holidays.
Happy holidays. Bye.